This is CNN.
Life at ground zero, President Bush hears the pleas of Hurricane Andrew's victims and opens up Washington's wallet. The heartbreak after the storm, one widow's view of what's left of her life. And historic enemies fighting side by side, soldiers in the Bosnian conflict who could be aiming their guns at each other, now on the same side of the firing line. And Early Prime continues. I'm Lou Waters. Cheryl Atkinson has the week off. He came, he saw, and he promised more help. For the second time in 8 days, President Bush got a first-hand look at Hurricane Andrew's damage and took another listen to the storm victims' cries for help. The president responded by announcing that Washington will pick up the full tab for all repair costs that qualify under government programs. The federal government usually pays only 75% of the massive cost of cleanup and rebuilding, but the president pledged Washington will cover 100% of those costs. During a tour of a community center in Louisiana this afternoon, Mr. Bush reassured residents about the government's commitment to helping them.
I am here today to check the progress that's been made and to make the point that we're in this for the long haul. I've told that to Billy Tauzin, who's a congressman from this district, and certainly to Governor Edwin Edwards, who's been right on top of this from the state standpoint from day one.
Before visiting Louisiana, Mr. Bush toured some of the tent cities being erected for the homeless residents of South Florida. As for the victims the president visited, some expressed thanks, others skepticism. Some charged the government has been too slow to respond to the disaster. Mr. Bush will discuss the federal relief effort during an Oval Office address tonight. CNN plans to carry that speech live. It starts at 9 p.m. Eastern. CNN's John Holloman has been following the relief efforts in one of the hardest hit cities, Homestead, Florida, and he joins us now from there. John.
Lou, as the sun begins to go down in the west, I'm standing in the middle of a tent city, which really wasn't even here this time yesterday. It's near the Homestead Middle School. You can see there are about 60 tents set up. They're ready for people to come and visit, but nobody's here yet. The people who erected these tents are members of the United States Navy, including a crew that's headed by Chief Warrant Officer Clarence Sampe, who's had a lot of experience in doing this sort of work, relief efforts all over the world. Chief, tell me this, what sorts of things are your men going to be able to provide to the people of Homestead in the next few days?
Okay, we are mostly a labor force. Anything they want done, we will help them do it.
Yeah, okay.
Good. And whatever the needs are, we will do it. You know, like we have one of our two of our people in a medical now. Providing services there, and we just got them spread out here.
All right.
And the tents were put up by the group from the USS Sierra,
right.
AD-18.
All right, Chief. Listen, thanks for talking to us. We have seen these tent cities go up all over Homestead, and we're told that there are more tents to come. The tents are up, but people are slow to set up housekeeping here. For folks like Irene Miller, who lost everything, this tent city in Homestead is a poor substitute for even the Homestead Middle School gym, where she's lived since Andrew turned her life upside down.
And they're talking about moving me out here. And it may be okay if they get the air conditioning coming in. I don't know, because it's not air conditioned over there either. But they're going to put up bathrooms and so forth for us here. But how far? And when you step out of the tent, you're in the Sahara Desert, I believe.
Irene has made new friends here, including Elsa Marina, who was injured chasing looters from her store. The idea of living in a tent is downright dangerous.
I'm afraid of the looters.
Sure.
I had so much bad experience with them.
Yeah.
You know, they even stole my Bible that had been in my family for many years.
But the tents are still going up, and more are coming.
We want to do this thing smart, and we want to do it right, to where we are using the manpower where we can best use it, and we'll see if we need to put more tents up.
21 Army kitchens are all in operation now, feeding thousands each day. And there's talk of erecting small groups of tents near destroyed neighborhoods. But like so much of the assistance after the hurricane, there are questions about whether the help that's being offered is really what's needed.
We're trying to create a climate that is good for the people who are living here. If it's living in a tent and they're comfortable with doing that, that will work. But we want to get this community restored to a sense of optimism and forward growth.
A week after the hurricane, Homestead is far from normal. But a spirit that was missing when the storm hit is apparent now to everyone. Elsa Marino joins us now live from inside this tent. Elsa, if you had to live in a tent like this, could you do it?
I guess I will have to.
Yeah. What's your big fear about if you did have to live in a tent like this?
Well, I went through so much with the hurricane and the looters. I would be afraid of them.
Now, you'd be afraid that somebody would hurt you in a situation like this. And the shelter where you live now, right across the street here, is much better for you. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Why is that?
At least I have people around and a building around me. I feel secure.
Yeah. This to you then, as several people have told me today, is sort of a less safe and secure environment than where you live over at the middle school.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What do you see as you look 3 months into the future?
I don't know. It sure looks bad.
Yeah.
It will take years, I gather. And I got a feeling that the building where I am now is going to be condemned.
All right. Elsa Moreno, the American people see you here, and I'm sure they're thinking about you tonight. John Holloman, CNN Live in Homestead, Florida.
All right, John, not much is clear-cut about the conflict in Bosnia. But Serbian fighters want the world to know they're fighting for democracy and against fellow Serbs who want to bring Sarajevo to its knees. And a bad exchange rate means fewer francs and pricier pounds for European visitors this summer. A look at the impact on tourism, all ahead as Early Prime continues.
Have you thought about long distance lately? Are you getting the service you expected? Whatever happened to those big savings they offered you? Do they show up on your bill? The AT&T Any Hour Saver plan gives you the low prices you expect. Calls are just $10 for the first hour, then as low as